Should you get a prenup as a woman when you're going into a marriage? I'm going to be doing a series of reaction videos to a 90-Day Fiancé, where a man basically pressures his bride-to-be to sign this contract. And you'll see my opinion on this prenup situation. My name is Karina and welcome back to my channel where I make content to help as stepping stones for you to become the best version of yourself, $1 million lady. So subscribe for this type of content. Now let's just get straight into this.
It's probably not the best time. We got an email.
Yeah?
The contract, the marriage contract.
The prenuptial agreement.
Oh, the marriage contract, just so casually, like it's not a big deal.
I'll show you a little bit of what it looks like.
I am in complete shock right now. Before I came here, Bilal had only mentioned the idea of a prenuptial agreement. And I was adamant that it was not for me. And we didn't speak about it again.
Now, there's definitely two very polarizing ends of how people feel about this. There's one group of people who think it's fair to get a prenup because just in case of divorce or the chances of divorce are so high, versus the other side of the room, which thinks it's unfair because, well, maybe you had something before me, or even so, you are building something. This to me is the worst. When you are building something together or not together, you're in a marriage, and at the end of that marriage, the woman still gets nothing or barely anything. Now, that to me is where the red flags happen.
I did not even know that he was still thinking about a prenuptial agreement, let alone having a lawyer write up a copy. So I guess this is your way of wooing me.
Definitely, I did not want to bring this up like in this scenario, and because this is supposed to be this nice, me and you. But it's kind of like when you have a pain, and then it's like, you know, you step to somebody's foot to take away from the other pain.
So she basically gave up her yoga studio and her business in Trinidad, where she's from, to move to America to marry him and to live with him. Meanwhile, he has his houses, his businesses, and etc. And he's pressuring this paperwork onto her to sign it so he is safe in case of divorce, and keeps questioning her in other videos I've seen about her leaving him and taking his money. Okay, that's just not a very family-oriented position to be in. And if somebody told me that, it's like, you don't trust me and we're supposed to be building things together.
Okay, so like he took me for the whole like a sky view of Atlanta. It was real nice, and he presented me with the prenuptial agreements. Remember?
Wait. On the nice romantic evening, he gave you the prenup papers?
Yes.
You can see that most women are just kind of deterred by this. Unfortunately, I've seen cases where women are kind of coerced into believing that this is what they also want, that this is what protects you against the government or against things like potentially happening, and it's good for both of you. But it's only good if it's structured in a way that benefits both parties in an equal way, in a 50-50 way, where maybe the state you got married has a different prenup that automatically gets kind of put under the marriage, but that doesn't mean you can't have your own that says everything we own is together. Like, that's pretty much the only type I would agree with, even if the man is the business person and doing absolutely everything. Because to me, when you are getting in a marriage, you are saying we are doing this together. It seems bizarre that you are willing to share something so important with a woman, maybe even have children, raise a family, put the children in the will, make sure that they're financially secure. But when it comes to the wife, saying, no, our finances are split. If something happens, you only get a small amount, or maybe I'll pay you alimony and that's it.
Kind of, I don't know, if he thinks you're after his money or something.
Thank you.
I think it's because you're from the Caribbean and you're not from one of those so-called First Nations, probably why he sees you as a little island girl.
Not necessarily. I think the men who want this type of situation see any girl the same, and that is you're not having access to my funds, and we're going to keep it separate.
Wants to come and take his things.
The reality is, like, marriage is, yeah, you have love component for sure, but you also have a business component as well too. And so when people don't talk about finances, they say the number one reason why people get divorced is because of finances.
Yes, because there is a divide and you're not working together, and because there are problems outside of finances that spill into that, I believe. When people are maybe stingy or not gracious with the money they make. Like I said, to me, it is so strange to be with somebody and share literally everything with them except for money. That is already putting up a barrier. It's already putting up a wall before you even get into a marriage and the whole time through a marriage.
Understand his perspective, he got all of his assets, fine, all of that is good. But because you had a whole entire grown life in Trinidad, you had your yoga studio, you didn't just came from nowhere. For him to present a prenup, what does that prenup say? What is going to happen?
Yeah, I've got a question for you. What if she doesn't sign the prenup?
You know, that's a question that I've been baffling with. You know, it's been something that I always said I need to have happen. Obviously, I don't want to let love go, but also, again, I'm not, you know, I don't think blindly either, you know.
You don't want to let love go, but you care so much about the monetary aspect. And it's a good point. She abandoned her entire life to come live with you. Maybe he is a multimillionaire, but she wasn't making that much. But honestly, the price of freedom and peace and not being kind of put in this situation of mistrust, or if I don't trust you, what if this happens? This is separate. I give you permission to spend money. That you can't put a price on freedom.
To be quite honest, I have to think about it. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to sign that prenup.
Anywhere in that prenup agreement has anything about children that you all may have? He was married before, he had children, he had a life. Right? He's a divorcee, right? You never did any of these things. You also get into the game. You put a condition. You have no terms and conditions, most definitely.
I think that is very a smart thing to do. If there's any way for them to move forward, is to put clauses in there that will also benefit her. Because from what I watched in the show, it seemed like it was definitely one-sided, where he would be the supporter and provider while they are together, but then after, he just goes quiet. So it's definitely something that is super one-sided. This is her last years to basically have a child. And if he's, okay, fine, I don't want kids, I just want to live my life with my money, with a wife who just cooks for me and cleans up after me. It's basically like a live-in maid, not a partner that you view equally.
Say, okay, I want to have kids before 40?
Yes.
Definitely. I mean, if you really want it, if this is something you really want, then definitely put it in a prenup. It goes both ways. Yeah. Time is ticking.
Honestly, I don't even know where her mindset is. She tends to be a little bit argumentative over some of the smallest things. She's distant, she's, you know, which also makes me even more weary why I do need to have something in place.
The reason she's distant, I mean, there's this pressure, there's this feeling of mistrust, there's this feeling of not being in like a togetherness already from the start. That's why.
I just feel like every person who's loved me or who I've loved back has left me.
He has trauma from the past that's spilling into this relationship is really what's going on here.
Feel a type of way in regards to Bilal not setting up a meeting with us early on when she first came. I think that that's very important because she needs to understand where I fit at in the dynamics of everything.
I think, okay, this is his ex-wife. I don't think she really fits into anywhere in the dynamic of their relationship. That's just me personally. I mean, I don't know what she got with their divorce, but the divorce is finalized. If he pays alimony, he pays alimony, but she has no right or say of what goes on in their relationship.
I know that there has been some talk in regards to a prenup agreement. Yeah. And it may not be my place to speak on it.
And it's not.
I'm coming from a place of protecting my kids' assets and the generational wealth, you know?
I understand protecting the kids. I completely understand protecting the kids from a previous marriage. But that is why the divorce has already been settled. And she got what she got, whatever their agreement was previously. He's not going to leave the children on the streets. And Shaida is not going to take everything that he has and the kids are going to be on the street. That's not how it works. You can still take care of the kids without putting his new wife to be in this uncomfortable situation.
To know that, you know, you're not here for just what he has.
But that's none of your business. Even if she was, that is still none of your business. So insulting.
Well, I have a life in Trinidad. I'm very known in my community. I had my own yoga studio. Just Google me, you'll see a lot of things that come up, you know, as in newspapers. So me trying to get what he has nothing to do with that. But I understand you have concerns from a mother protecting your children.
Yeah, I do. Because I don't know how well you know Bilal or how long you've known him, but I know it isn't 10 years or 15 years of putting in, you know, the work that you see that he has produced.
Okay, it doesn't matter how long she's known him. She is his wife to be, and that already is a commitment from him to her.
You good?
I mean, it is what it is, I guess, at this point. But I am just praying for everything just to go right for the whole situation.
Where does this hostility come from? I think it took her by surprise to see a new woman in Bilal's home who is now becoming the woman of the household. I realized that this prenup is big business, but sweetheart, you are lecturing the wrong person.
I'm glad she knows her place and she's defending herself, because this is so insulting, honestly.
Do you ever plan on cheating on me?
Absolutely not, no.
Do you ever plan on divorcing me?
What if she answers yes to this question? Imagine him asking her and she's like, you know what? Yeah, I will divorce you. I will cheat on you. Even if she were, she wouldn't openly say that to him.
Well, this right here doesn't matter. All this, me.
That's not true. That is not true. This is what they say. Oh, it's only if you cheat on me or if you divorce me. But what if she does decide to divorce you because you're the one who cheated, or you're not giving her attention, or you're not being a good partner for whatever reason? So then the prenup does matter. So again, it is super one-sided and already putting her in the blame that this will only happen, this prenup will only get kind of pushed through if you do something bad. But nothing in there is protecting her from if he does something bad. That is very unfair.
If you go back on your word of what you just said to me, that's the only reason why this right here will take an effect.
Manipulation.
Does this prenup have any silent party influence?
Yes. His whole family.
Because I feel like your ex, she mentioned in prenup, too many hands in the broth. It's the saying that we say in Trinidad, when too many hands in the broth, it spoils the entire thing. So now it's like looking at me as if I have some secret agenda to try to take what Bilal has.
First of all, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, and it relates to. Well, you asked me a question. Can I answer your question?
Why he has to be so condescending? I don't understand.
Absolutely nothing to do with anything whatsoever. But I also know that I have 2 children that I also have to protect as well.
This children argument, it is not a clear argument, because you can still have even a prenup that you together write up that protects both him and her. That is not one-sided. That also takes care of the children. Not having a prenup doesn't mean when they divorce, she takes 100% of what he owns and the children forever will be out on the streets.
You can't just say, oh, well, let me just have a blind eye at love. Well, that wouldn't be smart.
Can you see how I give up everything?
My love, my Bellacita.
Do you see where I'm coming from when I say that?
I get it. I know this is not the sexiest conversation to have, but I know it's a conversation that is needed. This right here is something that it says that you won't take me for everything I got. I mean, it's just literally, I don't...
Again, so he said it has nothing to do with money, like a minute earlier, and now he's basically saying, yes, it does. But let's reverse the situation. His perspective, money is everything he's got. But if we switch it to the woman, everything she's got is she already gave up her family, her friends, her business, her career to move to him, to basically take her last chance of having kids and bet it on this guy right here. That is everything she's got, and that's more important. That cannot have a monetary value, because once those years are gone, they're gone. So let's say 5-10 years later down the road, she gave her best years to him. That's everything she's got, so she gets to leave with absolutely nothing at the end of that.
I'm gonna show the prenup to a lawyer. I'm not gonna sign a document that does not give me certain rights in it. Are we done?
If you want it to be done, we're done.
And he just assumes that she won't take it by a lawyer, that she will just take it as is at face value and sign it. If he really cared about both of their interests being met, he would have said, hey, meet with this other third-party lawyer that doesn't have a conflict of interest with me and see what they have to say.
Having children at a certain time, as well as assisting me to start my business in KC. He was just like, yeah, because this contract 100% protects Bilal. So you could get, if you want to protect you, if anything should happen. But he also said...
She's smart. So she did take it with a lawyer. And she's saying the lawyer said this contract is 100% in favor of the guy. But she wants to put 2 clauses in there about having kids in a few years and him helping her start her business, which I think is literally the bare minimum. Like, kudos to her for even bringing that up, but it's sad that she is still asking for the bare minimum, which is, I gave up everything anyways to come to you. That is the least you can do, is help me get my footing on the ground.
I have to be clear when it comes to that. He was like, if Bilal is going to assist you in getting your business started here, you have to be clear that what you own stays with you. That money is my money, and if something should happen to us, it's that you cannot fight me for that. That's mine. So he was being very clear on that.
Even though we are establishing that after we get married.
See, this is where the problems come in. It's he wants to be fully protected, and that when the marriage ends, he gets everything, she gets nothing. But now she retaliates by saying, I want to start the business I had before you, since now I don't have it anymore. And he even wants the ownership for the nominal amount that she'll be making compared to the many businesses that he has.
When it comes to my brand, my yoga, I want to look at it as my real estate, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So my yoga is like my real estate.
Yeah.
You see how your real estate, your companies, it's yours, your children. I want to have that for me.
I get it. What I was just adding on to what you were saying, though, is that the reason why my real estate is my real estate is because I built it.
But she built her business before you as well. She just couldn't take it with her because she sacrificed everything to come be with you and to clean up after you.
Whereas, let's say, your yoga business, right? Well, you're looking for startup capital coming from me. You're looking for help coming from me. All those different things, which I'm...
Okay, Mr. Investor, what's startup capital? Where you live, the rent for a place is less than $1,000 a month for a studio. Probably like 500 or 1,000, maybe 1,500 max a month. What's startup capital? It's her with her skills. It's going to be very nominal. If you really loved her, you would help her anyways without question, since she literally gave everything up to come and be with you.
I'm willing to do that.
Listen, if the shoes were on the other foot, and I see you having your brand and having your life in a whole different country, and I'm seeing you leaving behind your source of income to make a life across here for me, hell yeah, I will help you.
Okay.
He's like, not me.
I'm prepared to walk away if he doesn't see it the way I do.
Definitely an unfair situation how he presented it. So that's just my personal belief on the prenup situation. Yeah, so anyways, that will be it for this reaction video. Follow and subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next video.